Tonight is Heidi's Bachelorette party, and you'd better believe it's filled with glitter and glory. Stay tuned.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Welcome to the Hills New Beginnings After Show. Today we are talking about Season 1, Episode 9. This hangover better be expensive. Guys, we have a lot to get into. My name is Rivette Soro, and to my left we have the king of reality TV, Mr. Eric Sinsley.
Happy Monday, everyone.
So excited. And to his left, I don't really know what your thoughts are currently, but you originally were here for Audrina and Justin Bobby. Miss Jennifer Lopez, please tell us your thoughts.
Hey, everyone. I think I'm just here for Audrina now.
Okay.
Whoa.
Okay.
Yeah, so officially now it's just Audrina, guys. Just
Okay.
Audrina.
You heard it here first. We have a big show to get into. We have a bachelorette party and a bachelor party. We're talking vow renewals. We have a Christian pop career revival from Heidi. Yeah. So, and we also have some, deeper topics.
Yeah.
Children, drug abuse, and we have our special segment, of course, Forgive and Forget, and Eric has some news for us. But first, I want to know your overall thoughts about tonight's episode.
Whoa. The end was intense.
Yes, it was.
Between Audrina and Steph. So I'm excited for next week.
Yeah.
I was just very intrigued with, I know Stephanie, causes a lot of chaos, but I was very intrigued with hearing about her drug abuse and, kind of relating to Jason and, slipping up and stuff. So I think that was actually really interesting and really, fun to see her in that kind of state of mind. I mean, it's not a fun state of mind, but it's, seeing her being more open and being a human for once and not just causing trouble and being able to relate to someone else. So that was very interesting.
I definitely agree. I loved seeing her vulnerable.
Yes.
I even said, wow, she's opening up. You never know what people are going through.
Right.
And then she ruined it for me at the bachelor party, which let's get into all that.
Yeah.
So Spencer and Heidi are celebrating their 10-year anniversary.
Yes.
I mean, I'm shocked. I'm so happy for them, though.
I am so happy for them, but like we said, so many of us, even Whitney said it herself.
Yes.
We didn't even know they would last this long. There was so much hate around their relationship throughout so many years. Even afterwards, I didn't think they were able to keep up with all the cameras not rolling anymore. I thought they were just going to split up, and I literally thought it was just for the cameras, but they really hold it down together, and they've been each other's ride or die partners and each other's biggest fans. So I'm really glad to see them where they're at now, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, Whitney is just boring the literal poo out of me. But when she said that tonight, that she was shocked that Heidi and Spencer have made it this far, I was like, okay, you're giving me something.
Yeah.
But to her point, I think we are all shocked, including you guys. Everyone in America is shocked that they've lasted this long.
Yeah.
But Whitney did come around, and she's happy for them. And I think we all are happy for them.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's almost like they're like, told you so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are not here for canceled culture, and Spidey was canceled for a long time. They were America's most hated couple. So I'm so happy for that bounce back.
Right.
And, Heidi is getting the bachelorette party she never got.
Yes.
My heart broke when she said she never had an initial bachelorette party because she had no friends.
No.
How sad is that?
She was alone, and even back in the day, I don't know if you guys remember this episode when there was a birthday that she celebrated, and it was just her and Spencer at this little restaurant, and it's just them two together and nobody there. Not even one friend was there to celebrate her or even go have dinner with her. So the fact that, they fought all these obstacles thrown their way, it's good to see them in a good place, whether they have friends or not. They were like, whatever, if nobody's gonna be with us, then we're gonna be each other's friends and biggest fans and just stick with it. So I'm really glad they did that, to be honest.
And whoever said moms can't twerk, little Gunner, I'm giving you a little warning now. Do not YouTube this in 10 years because yo mama Heidi can shake her bum.
She really can.
She can get down.
Yes.
She really can.
Whose bachelor/bachelorette party would you rather have been at? Would you rather have been at Spencer's bachelor party or Heidi's bachelorette party?
I would have rather been at Spencer's only because I'm on a major tequila kick right now. And I was going to talk about this later, but I had this huge revelation tonight that Spencer reminds me of the old Scott Disick. When he was like just baller, like I only want top shelf tequila. Like that is so Scott Disick, and I'm like huge Scott Disick fan. So yeah, I would have rather been there, definitely.
Is Spencer gonna be the Lord, like the next Lord?
Well,
I was just gonna say that.
No one can ever be the Lord. But
no, of course not.
He's the crystal god.
True.
He is. Who would you rather have been at? Which party? I mean.
I like Heidi's party, but I would much rather be at Spencer's. They look like they were having a good old time with some tequila shots, and I'm right there with you, Eric, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, hands down. First of all, who leaves their own bachelorette party to go put Gunnar to sleep?
All right, that was. I was in big agreement with Stephanie on that one, like how she said it's almost like. And I'm about to get a bunch of hate from the moms out there, but it's almost like it seems like a cop-out for her. She's like, randomly, gotta go. It must have only been not even midnight.
Yeah.
And she's like, I gotta go put the kid down. We know he already has a manager or a nanny at home who's putting the kid down. I don't know.
I just think we have to also remember that Heidi, I mean, maybe not Spencer, but Heidi, she partied so much since she was like 16, 17.
Yeah.
So I think, at least for me, by the time I got to 25, I was already kind of done. You kind of get bored. It's the same thing every week. And I mean, don't get me wrong, once in a while it's good, but I think she's already at that point that she's already probably had enough. And I'm sure she went to like the best parties in her younger years. You know, I'm pretty sure she drank underage. I'm sure, I don't know, but you know, to her, it's nothing new. I don't think she misses it. Yeah. So I try to understand her. And, you know, to her, I think what's important now is Gunnar and, you know, having a family and growing from it and, you know, making money and just looking in the future. And I don't think partying is her thing now. So, you know, it's just hard.
Then she should just say that. I mean, I'm the king of Irish dipping at bars. So, and she's almost doing that. Mm-hmm. That's how I'm taking it. So... just say, I've had enough to drink. I'm out.
But I think at the same time, she's trying to give it that chance. You know, she hears people, Spencer, her friends, being like, come on, Heidi, let's go out, let's have fun. You know, you have someone to take care of your kids, you know? Mm-hmm. But, you know, I just think that she's just not in that mood anymore. But I feel like...
Why are you throwing a bachelorette party?
You know, I think it's just more of a front for her friends, probably, and just kind of like, hey, if I'm there for 5 minutes, they'll leave me alone afterwards. But, you know, she doesn't see that it's actually worse leaving early, your own party, and leaving everybody there like, hey, go ahead, go crazy, and I'm going home. So
honestly, I'm not super mad at it because once Heidi left, the drama came. That's when the real bachelorette party started. Okay, Stephanie goes, Audrina, can we talk?
Oh my God.
And then it commercialed, and then when it comes back in, it's like the music is just cueing us to be in awe.
And it was the longest commercial break ever, and we were all looking at each other like, what's gonna happen? Mm-hmm. Was that the right time and place for Stephanie to try to have this grand old conversation with Audrina about their differences?
Don't think that Stephanie knows when the right time or place is to ever bring any conversation. So of course not, but you know, she did. She always does whatever she wants, and especially, you know, when you're drunk, you're gonna do whatever you want, say whatever you want, and you know, you're probably not gonna regret it. Especially with Stephanie, she usually doesn't regret anything, especially with people that she has grudges against. So it wasn't, and I didn't agree with it, you know, because literally it felt like she was talking about 5 different topics at the same time. So I was really confused. I was like, what is she even saying? Mm-hmm. I didn't know if her British accent was trying to come out at the same time too.
It was,
right?
It peeked out.
Yes. Yeah.
So I was really confused, but you know, that's Stephanie.
And also, like, I feel like all she was doing was taking shots. Like, you can see in her eyes, she's like... So, the fact that she could even formulate those sentences to Audrina, I was like, all right.
You didn't know if
Frank
it was
the Tank.
Heidi or Stephanie celebrating the Bachelor. That was crazy to me. You didn't know who was the one celebrating.
Yeah.
I mean, even Audrina, I love, like, when you can just compose your, like, Audrina was like, how many shots do you have to take until you throw up? Like, I love that. Because it's true, like, compose yourself. Don't come trying to have a conversation with me. Audrina, I don't know if she's sober, but she's definitely not as drunk as Stephanie.
No.
Like, it's just the wrong time and place. But it's Stephanie, like, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, and she could be coping on the fact that she's nervous as hell that she's with Heidi, because she was hyping Heidi up to the max, sucking up to her so much, saying she looks like a Barbie doll, and is like, I love you so much. And so we've all been there where we drink to compensate a little bit, whether it's for nerves or so. I do give her that, and I respect the fact that she's trying in some way to fix this relationship with Heidi. But yeah, it was a little OD.
That makes sense, because when you're drunk, I don't know, maybe maybe not everyone, but like when I'm drunk, it's like liquid courage, and I feel like the truth comes out. Like what you want to say, but you're maybe shy when you're sober, comes out. So I do see in her own Stephanie way, she was trying to mend their friendship.
Yeah, and Audrina was super mature, and I handled it very well, and I even took note and said Team Audrina.
Yeah.
I mean, what would you guys say? Team Audrina or Team Stephanie in that scenario?
Oh, Audrina.
No, of course, Audrina.
So it's like, and she was throwing in digs. Stephanie was throwing kind of mean digs about the boyfriend stuff that she's probably gonna regret, I think. And she can't take it back.
And she's not making her situation any better, you know. Going back to Heidi, you know, we remember Heidi didn't have any friends. I feel like that's what Stephanie is now. She has no friends. Even Ashley even said it herself, like, I'm gonna go and try to be her friend. But it's hard with Stephanie, because any little thing ticks her off, and it's like you're her worst enemy, and she's banning you for life. And it's just like, how do you want people to talk to you and deal with you and help you if you're constantly pushing people over the smallest little things, or you're creating, you know, drama or chaos and for the smallest little things? Like, why can't you just forgive and forget and just forget about it? Yeah. So.
Exactly. And even the people who are like mostly neutral, like you said, Whitney, and even Ashley, Jason's wife, who's trying to, you know, be friends with Stephanie, and she's saying, I want out of the drama. Just because Audrina doesn't like her doesn't mean I can't be her friend.
Right.
And they had their moment. They went to that workout class, which I want to know where that is, because it looked fun.
No, it didn't.
And, you know, that's when Stephanie was vulnerable, and I really liked her in that moment. And then flash forward to the Bachelorette party. I mean,
she immediately kills it, and you're just like, do I feel bad for you? I mean, of course she's going through stuff. It's pretty obvious that she's going through stuff. She said herself, I'm going through depression and stuff, and that's kind of like hard, but it's hard to help someone when they don't even want to help themselves.
Exactly. What's the fine line between, because Stephanie said that she came out tonight and said something huge, saying that I was addicted to crystal meth at age 15 by just trying it once.
Right.
And so, of course, the spiral of addiction, depression is definitely in that mix. And so I'm hoping that the reason why Audrina acted and reacted the way she did, which was super positive in my eyes, is because she did find out about this past of Stephanie, about the crystal meth, and you have to watch what you say to people, especially when they've been through something like addiction.
yeah.
Right.
Be kind.
Be kind.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I love how Audrina handled it, and it's probably because like she doesn't want to say anything that might trigger Stephanie or send her into a downward spiral. As much as she's pissed or annoyed at her, she doesn't want her to destroy her life.
Right.
So, and as far as we can tell, Stephanie, yes, is still going through issues, aren't we all? But it does seem like she has come a long way since the days when she was 15 and overdosed a few times, she said. And I'm thankful that she opened up, because obviously a lot of people in this country and everywhere are going through addiction too. So like we always say, it helps to watch them.
Yes.
And it also helps to talk about it too, you know, and be aware of that, you know, you are not alone and stuff like this. But, you know, I really like that she opened up about that. So, because, you know, we got to see a different side of her for once. Yeah.
And we love it when we open up to you guys, and Jen's gonna tell
guys,
you.
Thank you guys so much for making us the ESPN of TV talk, but we need your help. In order for us to give you this free, fabulous content, we want you guys to subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and comment, and let us know what you think of the episode tonight. Also, if you could give us a 5-star in Apple Podcasts, and also leave us your comment, and we will definitely shout you out. Thank you, guys.
Yes, we will. We love when you're active in the live chats. We read all the comments, and we love when you engage with us. So thank you.
Yeah, and I am getting a little hate for the mom shame, and I'm sorry. I didn't mean it like that. We've all talked about how we think Heidi is such a great mom. I was just saying that maybe she should just say it's time to go home.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, I do agree with what you said. Just, like, be more upfront. Maybe, like, your friends are moms as well. They're maybe a little bit more ready to party and, like, have a mom's night out. Heidi's not there yet.
Yes.
And that's okay.
Right.
Yes.
But, you know, just all about communicating.
Yes. And Carissa W. says, be kind. Yes, yes, yes. You don't know what people have been through, and when you figure out the why someone reacts or responds to situations or events, it's easier to empathize.
Very true.
Amen.
Yes, Carissa.
I have goosebumps. Thank you, Carissa. So Heidi may have left the bachelorette party early, but she has to get ready to perform her song at her vow renewal. Guys, obviously.
Glitter and glory.
Oh, Lord.
Which we have learned that Heidi truly has made the transformation from her rich days and being super successful and blowing all the money. And her song is about that transition and that learning process, but I don't know if Spencer is on the same page. Like, if it weren't for Heidi putting her foot down with their finances and the more important things in life, if you will, I think they could have spiraled again.
Wow.
Like, I really feel like Heidi's the one that's taken reign on that situation.
Yeah. I definitely agree. I mean, even Spencer, throughout the season, he'll say little comments like, oh, I wasn't famous anymore, and we were so broke. And he really, I think he puts money and happiness, like, hand in hand.
Oh, yeah. He definitely does.
Yeah, and I do think Heidi has grown past that.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think she's just more about, okay, yes, let's have that money, but right now what's important is our family. Whatever else comes second, you know, and I think that that's very important because, you know, of course money is important, you know, that's why you pay rent, bills, and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, money goes. When you die, things go. you don't stick with that money, you know. When you die, the memories you live are memories you live with your family and your friends. So I think that she's in that stage, especially, you know, when you have a baby. I think babies having a kid, I mean, I'm not a mom myself, but I think kids give you like a different hope and a different life perspective on life. So
Yeah.
it's definitely.
So are we downloading the single or not?
Oh, I already have it.
It's my ringtone.
Yeah. No, I will not be partaking in that purchase.
I just have to, you know, they say diamonds are forever. I say only time will tell. We just had to throw that in there, guys.
And I really admired what she said about being a Christian girl, how she's basically been given so much slack and hate for calling herself and portraying herself as a Christian girl, because there is this stigma, and I've learned from friends that just because you call yourself a Christian, it doesn't mean you're perfect. And especially I feel like for women, if you say you're a Christian girl, it means that you're supposed to do these certain things a certain way, and that's not true. And I again think it's super honorable and admirable that she's talking about this kind of issue.
Yeah.
So, and she wrote a song about it.
I honestly couldn't agree more. Here's the thing. The song, just for me, it just the beat, like, it's a little bit corny, but the message behind it, I do agree. I grew up Catholic. I still am. And there definitely is a stigma around, oh, well, you're Catholic. You can't do this. Or why are you doing that? And it's like, that doesn't mean I'm perfect just because I'm, religious or I have this faith or whatever. And I do agree with what Heidi was saying.
Yeah, I mean, she's gone through hell and back because of the mistakes she's made, but she's come out and said because of her strong faith, that helped her get through it. So what's wrong with that?
Nothing.
exactly.
nothing.
We're here for it.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm also here for Kaitlynn having babies. You guys, that was so hard to watch.
It was definitely hard.
My first question is, why did they get married? I mean, we now know that they weren't legally married, but Brody came out and said that at the beginning, or before they got married, when they first started dating, he was the one that wanted to have kids sooner on in the relationship.
Yeah.
And then once they got married, it switched. But aren't those and I know people's goals and plans change, but aren't you supposed to be on the same page when you say I do?
These are things that definitely should be talked about before marriage. But then I think with a lot of people, they think like they can change, like, okay, you want kids in a year, yeah, we'll talk about it then. So it's like they put these things up, like these big conversations. I mean, I got married at a young age. I got married at 20. It didn't work out.
What?
Yeah. So.
Whoa, I did not know that.
I know, plot twist. But I was in San Diego, and I always wanted to move to LA, and I was going to for grad school, and that was a conversation that I told, my fiance at the time, I'm going to move to LA, like, I've always wanted to do this, so, like, let's talk about it. And he was kind of like, okay, yeah, like, we'll talk about it, like, we'll see when we get there. And I was like, well, this is something I'm going to do. So it was one of those things that it was put off, but he knew what I wanted, and I knew, but it should have been talked about before. You know what I mean? So I think they kind of flip-flopped and didn't want to talk about it. I was shocked that Brody said, oh, I wanted kids initially. Like, I was like, what? When?
Right.
It's sad, and he really didn't seem into it at the doctor's office.
No, he did not. He seemed like he just wanted to go home and was not into it. And like you said, Rivette, it's sad that it came to this way. Now we know that they're not together, but it's one of those things, like you said, you need to talk about it. And I have a lot of friends that are in the same boat or are still married and are like, well, we'll talk about it in a year.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I think commitment is a big thing, and I think that it shouldn't just be treated like, hey, we're gonna get married. Oh, if it doesn't work out, we'll just divorce.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's like that with everybody, but I don't think it should be.
Yeah.
Personally, for me, just because it's just better to live together, get to know each other, see if you're on the same page, like you said, and if it works, if you guys are on the same page and you guys are willing to do, what you guys said together and build this relationship with a family and stuff, definitely go ahead and get married. But, I think for others, it's just easier to get married, see if it works, and if it doesn't, then, bounce.
And more is coming out on the internet and in the press with this couple, and it seems like they were never on the same page about certain things. So, and we'll talk about more about it when we talk about news. But
yeah, I'm excited for that. But it's hard because I feel like in today's society, girls, or at least a lot of my friends and people that I know and what we see on TV, after a certain point of dating someone, it's like that pressure is on, like, we need to get married. Like, that's the next step. Naturally, most girls, not all girls, but I feel like that Kaitlynn sort of just wanted that ring, wanted that wedding, like, wanted to get married, and they didn't really think about, like, long-term marriage, which happens more often than not.
Yeah,
and
it does,
it sucks to see it play out, because it's real life. People go through this. I don't know, but I mean, I hope for both of their sake, splitting up is better for them. And maybe, that's the beauty of living in 2019. Kaitlynn can freeze her eggs on her own, and she can potentially, if she really wants kids, have a child on her own too. So if that's something that she really wants, I really hope that happens for her.
I really do too.
Yeah. And to add a little humor to that, Maurice Charles says, getting married is the new designer fad. It used to be carrying a small dog in your purse.
Okay, I can agree with that. That's, you want those Instagram wedding pictures, So a couple who will not be getting married, probably, Brandon and Ashley, who are currently in the episode exclusive, but not boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yeah, can you guys please comment and let us know in the chat what this means? We're exclusive, but we're not boyfriend and girlfriend. I don't know what that means still.
Does that mean, like, we don't have to get each other birthday gifts, or, like, we're not spending Valentine's Day together? Because, like, I need to know. Is there, like a layout, like a contract?
There's just so many things that can happen with that, or, like, how I would read into it, so.
And it's pretty serious that Spencer and Brandon agreed to invite Ashley to the Bachelorette, like, when she doesn't even know the circle of women.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty serious. And then, of course, we get to the Bachelorette, and Stephanie, just when she was getting on my good side, she decides to stir things up and basically say that she saw Brandon with another woman.
Yeah. What was she like? Stephanie, girl, I know you're watching this. Like, just tell us your thought process. Like,
yeah, we want to know, because if you can explain yourself, then
didn't they mention it earlier too, that they were like, let's not talk about the other
they
girls.
all agreed. We're gonna make her feel comfortable. Like, we're not gonna mention any other girls.
Even Stephanie said it herself. She was the one that said, let's make her feel welcome.
Yep.
You know, and the camera quickly turned to Audrina, which was hilarious.
Yes.
She was like, I don't think that's gonna happen, but I don't know. You know,
who is
Stephanie.
Lorena?
Is that the new chick?
Yes.
Yes.
Where did she come from? Are we gonna see more of her?
I hope so.
I don't know.
I want to see I want to know what's gonna happen with Ashley. So.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Ashley's cute.
She is. I love her. I really do. I really do.
This is all too much. I think we need to get into our special segment, Forgive and Forget.
Yes.
Yes, guys. So once again, if you're new to our show, we have a special segment called Forgive and Forget, in which we forgive a person and give them a second chance, or we completely forget them and push them out the way. So, Rivette, who is your Forgive and Forget this week?
Okay, I'm forgetting Stephanie, and I don't think I need to explain why. Like, you should know why. You know what you did. Sorry.
Bring it back.
Yes.
And I'm forgiving Ashley because she walked into a bachelorette party with a bunch of, like, older moms that have been friends for years, and that's, like, really intimidating, and she kept her composure, and Stephanie was, like, coming at her talking about other girls, and she just was sitting there. She didn't stir up any drama, and I have a lot of respect for her for that.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. I am going to forgive Stephanie because her coming, and I've known that she had drug abuse, but her hearing it and the stigma attached to crystal meth is so intense. So I had such high respects for her for doing that. And it kind of made me realize why she is the way she is, maybe. But I also want to forget Stephanie, because just when I'm, like, on her team and supporting her, and I'm like, wow, you've been through some bad stuff, she goes and stirs some unnecessary drama. So that's where I stand.
That is very fair.
Right. Of course, I'm going to forget Stephanie. I can with her causing drama. It's just too much. She just, like you said, she's good for a few minutes, and after it's like a whole different person. I think I'm gonna forgive Heidi. You know, I really like seeing her different side. I mean, I know that you guys don't agree with her going home early from a party, but I think I'm gonna give it to her because, you know, I really like how she's grown, and she's a totally different person from what we know from the past. Yes. And I like that she's all about family and wanting to take care of stuff and being like, hey, I'm out for 5 minutes. Okay, I gotta go home. Bye. You know, so I definitely forgive Heidi this week for sure.
And glitter and glory.
And glitter and glory, yes.
I think Eric has some news for us.
Yes.
So excited.
All right, guys. So for news this week, Spencer Pratt shades Kaitlynn Carter over reportedly wanting to be on the show before The Hill's New Beginning. So basically, Whitney Port has a YouTube show called With Wit. I don't know if you guys have watched it, but it's pretty good. And Kaitlynn Carter appeared on the show last Thursday. So basically, Kaitlynn said that Spencer had asked Brody and Kaitlynn a few years ago to go on the reboot. Spencer's always been pushing these people to do this reboot. He's been wanting the reboot for, I think, since it ended. And she basically told Whitney that it was an automatic no. No, Brody and I do not want to do it. Now, apparently Spencer watched this interview on YouTube and took to Twitter and said, she's so full of it, it was automatic, I want my own show. And then she went and pitched and every network passed. So she's basically calling her out.
So he's saying she's lying about her and Brody saying they don't want their show 'cause she's been wanting this.
She's been wanting her own show.
Oh, wow.
Now, an exclusive source also confirmed, this is with Perez Hilton, by the way, the irony, confirmed that Brody and Kaitlynn did go to numerous networks to pitch their own show. Basically, they wanted to sell this idea of them being newlyweds, and back in 2018, they kept being denied from all these networks. And MTV was trying to get Brody on board for numerous years. And I didn't realize that this show was in talks for that long. I mean, we had heard about it.
Yeah.
But it sounds like they really needed some key players, and the fact that Lauren Conrad wouldn't do it. Then you go down the line in terms of celebrity popularness, and Brody Jenner's probably next.
Yeah.
Right.
And the reason why he did not want to do it is allegedly because he wanted more money. So it was all a money thing.
Right.
And yeah, and then we find out that everyone is being paid equally.
Really?
Yes, which was not the case when the Hills first debuted back in the day. And they make a lot of money per episode.
No shade, but like Whitney's being paid as much as Spencer?
So what I think is, and from what I read and researched, is they have the same rate for so it depends on how often they're shown on the show.
Right, that makes sense.
But their time is probably a rate.
Right.
So to get back to where Kaitlynn and Brody stand, we obviously know that they broke up, but she put out a statement to E! News saying that they ultimately did the Hills to spend time together.
Oh.
So it seems like they were not broken for a while now, but that they were struggling and trying to mend their relationship. And
But I don't know if a reality show it's the best way to spend time together.
Well, I think a lot of the times people do reality shows. I mean, going back, I don't know if you guys watch Real Housewives of Orange County, but there have been many wives that come out and say after their divorce that they went on the show hoping to reconcile and to almost learn about each other and see, almost if you see your mistakes, maybe you can fix them. So that could have been a reason why. I mean, that is a very common thing with this reality world.
I can see that being very therapeutic.
Yeah.
In a weird way.
Yes.
It could also break relationships apart.
Right.
I mean, being plain on the big screen.
Right.
But wow, that is so sad.
Yeah.
That is so sad to hear.
Yeah.
I really feel for her. I feel for Kaitlynn.
Yeah, and then for them to do this, show this fertility, that's some deep relationship stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's out there. It's out there forever, and it's. I mean, now they're probably seeing the episodes. Friends and family are seeing the episode. It's kind of like, ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Or the next people they end up with or date.
Right.
Like these conversations are all on screen.
Right.
Yeah.
So going back to the news of Kaitlynn and Brody not wanting to do the show at first, they were shopping around to sell themselves for their own reality show. So my question is, why do we think they were denied? My thoughts, and then I'll get your guys' thoughts, is that they're not interesting enough. Yes, Brody Jenner is this handsome Hollywood guy, but if Caitlyn Jenner nor the Kardashians are going to appear on the show, no one is probably going to tune in. Brody doesn't have a great relationship with Caitlyn, so therefore Caitlyn, his mom.
Yes.
Or his dad. His dad. And Brody has never had a good relationship with the Kardashians. He's tried to mend his relationship with Kylie and Kendall, and they're somewhat close, I think. So I just think it comes down to not being interesting enough. Maybe people wouldn't tune in. I know Brody's had podcasts in the past, and I don't think they've done super well. Also, just to throw this in real quick, Spencer has been throwing some major shade at Brody Jenner on Twitter, talking about his marriage, and also Brody supposedly has a new girlfriend, according to Spencer.
Ooh.
And there's pictures of them making out. Her name is Josie Canseco.
I saw that. Is her father an actor, Canseco?
I don't
Anyways, doesn't matter. Spencer is busy on Twitter.
Yes.
He is very busy on
I
Twitter.
guess we need to go on Twitter. I'm never on Twitter, but like apparently that's where all the drama is.
We need to start checking Spencer's Twitter.
I love Spencer, but just like you have a family, like, you know, worry about your wife, Gunner.
I think
like,
he's just really hurt that him and Brody don't talk, to be honest. I think that really, like, he is definitely very hurt about that. And, you know, I do wish they had the same friendship they had at the beginning, you know, but I think both of their egos is just very high, that not one of them wants to be like, okay, you go first or I go first. So it's just, it stays the same. So
yeah,
it sucks. But yeah.
That makes sense.
We have some people chiming in on the Kaitlynn Brody talk, and basically, Jayla Laurel says she wants to have kids, but runs into the arms of Miley Cyrus, who can't give her a baby. LOL, just saying.
Ooh. So true.
And then Maurice Charles says she must have really wanted kids if she, meaning Kaitlynn, left to go get it with a Miley Cyrus.
You guys are funny.
And Brody's new girlfriend is a daughter of Jose Canseco, who's a baseball player.
Baseball player. Thank you. You know.
Jose took a lot of steroids.
Oh. Fun
Supposedly.
fact.
Okay.
Wow.
Thank you, Maurice.
Yes,
Thank you, Maurice. I understand what you guys are saying, but also, I mean, Kaitlynn is free to hang out with whoever she wants. And, like, why not hang out with Miley Cyrus, you know?
And also, we don't know, we might find out if she ended up freezing her embryos or eggs. So if she did, she could still have kids with Miley Cyrus.
Yeah. 2019.
It's 2019. You can have kids with whomever you want.
Thank you, Eric.
Yes.
I think we should get into some predictions.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
The preview for next week was intense. Who has predictions first?
I want to know what's going to happen with Brandon, Ashley, and Lorena. I want to know what's going to happen with that. You know, I really like Ashley, but who is Lorena now? Like, who, you know, and it's crazy to see Brandon being so calm, but being kind of like a playboy kind of status. He kind of reminds me of Brody in some kind of way, you know, but without the liquor and all that stuff. But he's still that very like bad boy kind of player. So I'm really curious to see what's gonna happen with his relationships, because from what I see, I feel that he could be a good boyfriend or a good partner to be with, but I don't know does he have commitment issues or what's going on. So I'm ready to see what's gonna happen with him next week for sure.
Cool. I am predicting that Heidi's Glitter and Glory single is going to debut at #1 next week. And I know who the #1 fan of that song is going to be. Yep, that's going to be her shower pump-up song.
Yes!
Before she hits Psycho LA.
Guys. Thank you.
We need to have Heidi in here to sing it.
Okay, I love everything you just said. Kaitlynn is going to find out something about Brody.
Right.
There's a rumor that they're talking about next week saying, oh, like, you have an open relationship, or Brody sleeps with other girls and Kaitlynn knows, and I don't think she knows.
Which we touched on news a little bit. That has surfaced the internet, so.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's the beginning of the end for them.
Yes. I think so too.
I think Brandon and Ashley are going to be over because Lorena is in the picture now. And I think, I mean, we didn't really touch on it, but I think Brandon will mend his relationship with his father because Spencer encouraged him to text him today.
I hope so.
And he did, and I hope we see that play out on screen.
Same.
Yes.
I love Brandon. I can't be mad at him.
I love Brandon. I love that Pamela, his mom, also encourages that and always tells him, like, have you talked to your dad?
Yeah.
Every time she's in town, she's like, have you talked to your dad? Talk to him. Text him.
Yes.
You guys are the same person, so there's no reason why you guys should be mad at each other or not talking and stuff. So
and that's another point for Spencer for doing that.
Yeah,
for
definitely.
pushing Brandon to do that and wanting to resolve family issues.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
Because Spencer's been there too, and he's like, I wish I didn't let it go. Man, you know what? I argued with my dad yesterday. I'm gonna text him after this.
Yes.
Thank you, Spencer, and thank you, Brandon. And thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Rivette Soro. You can find me at Rivette Soro on all social media platforms.
And you guys can find me on all social media as well at Eric Sinsley.
And you guys can find me on all social media at Jen_Lopez_89.
Good night,
Bye, guys.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.